chat time, talk time. I'm just processing what I'm gonna indulge you with. Insight, intellect, 4-4. I want to talk about Tolkien. Oh yeah. Lord of the Rings.
This is Demetrius, and I'm sorry.
I want to clarify. I've read Lord of the Rings 3 times. I've got to question my own sanity, really. Why? What possessed me to read Lord of the Rings?
Maybe because it's a good read with a lot of memorable characters and a rich fictional history behind it.
I truly believe I was possessed. Listen, no, in a nutshell, I've only read 5-6 books. I'm 48 years old.
A bold claim.
I'm just not a reader. It doesn't float me boat. It don't light me candle. But I thought if I'm gonna read, I want to read something that the majority say is good. And I thought, well, Tolkien, you know, people bang on about him. I thought, well, I'll give it a go, because you can't have an opinion really unless you read the man's works. It's like a lot of people condemn the Bible and knock it. And I say, have you ever read the Bible? No, well, shut your gob then, in a nutshell. So I read it. Fellowship of the Rings, or Two Towers, and Return of the King. But it's all one, but it's like kind of split in a trilogy. But the first time I read it, I couldn't believe it. I thought, what a load of shite. Now, what do I mean by that? It was nonsense. I mean, you think about it, the man, right? It took him decades to write. I don't think deep down he had any intentions of getting it published, but it eventually did get published. But the man was consumed with unreality. He didn't live in the reality. He didn't live in the real world. He lived in the man's figment of his own imagination. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if the guy's on LSD, or he cannot cope with the real world.
Asshole.
And that was his escapism. He escaped into this realm of fiction. And I mean, we all live in the same world, and the way I see it is, and the man was bright. I mean, the man wasn't an idiot. He was a lecturer. He was educated. He was articulate, and yet he wasted his life on dwarfs.
Well, if you think his literary accomplishments was a waste of life, he might say a similar thing about having only read 6 books.
And in the land of Mordor, which doesn't exist, or existed in his own mind. And I'm thinking, why waste your life like that? Maybe you couldn't face truth. I don't know. But I thought, okay, I read it the first time and I thought it was shite. But with me, I'm not a quitter. So I thought I'd read it again. Maybe it's me, I'm missing something. You know, let's read it again. Thing is though, with Lord of the Rings, it's a big book, and it took me 3-4 months to read it the first time. But I struggled, and I read it again the second time. Again, I thought, what a load of shite.
Is this the man? Soften him up.
Shite. Shite. They should have stopped on the first one. Shite. It's boring. The man bangs on about this ring and how it's possessed Frodo. I mean, it didn't do anything for me. Anyway, I thought I'd give it another go because that's what I'm like. Hey, I'm not a quitter.
Some people say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
I'm old soul. If I do something, it's 100%. It's like my training. I don't mess about. I put my heart into it, my soul into it, 100%. Otherwise, yeah, what's the point? A bit of aggression coming out there, but you know, come on. But so I read it again, and I struggled. It took me about 6 months to read it, and even my wife Karen said, why do you keep reading something that, you know, it's not agreeing with you? I said, well, you got to give the man a go, ain't you? I said, people keep banging on about Tolkien, and I've read it 3 times, and the man is a loser. I don't care what anyone says. If you can read and take in information like that, you need your head tested. I'd rather live in the real world.
Whoa, like the Matrix totally has you, brah. If you could not live in fantasy, that would be most triumphant.
Not Tolkien's fictional, up the creek world. That's my little take on Tolkien anyway. I wouldn't recommend Tolkien to anybody.
You know, I think I know where all this animosity towards Tolkien is actually coming from.
It's over 9,000! Live to win! Till you die! Till the light dies in your eyes!
Okay, well, that was Bat Warrior Matrix's video. Now, I will be responding to some of that, but first of all, let me show you the title of this video, just so you can see that what he talked about in this video doesn't have anything at all to do with the title of this fucking video. Really, Batman? Really? Was he a Christian or an occult writer? Now, are you saying, is he a Christian writer or is he a Christian? Because he was a Christian. I think you know that, right? Right? I don't believe he was a Christian writer. A lot of his work had Christian undertones in it. There's even books about that sort of thing. I remember one title is Finding God in Lord of the Rings or something to that effect. It's been a long time since I've set foot in a Christian bookstore. But that information's out there. But then again, you've only read 6 books, so I really don't think that was one of them. One of the reasons why Tolkien is so popular and the Lord of the Rings is so popular is because even though it might have some Christian undertones, the way it's written, all the events, it's kind of like maybe there's some mystical force helping, and maybe there isn't. It can relate to just about anybody. And to be fair, even though he didn't touch on the topic of his video, in the sidebar he has a small book essay type thing over there. I skimmed some of it, but at least the sidebar takes up the subject matter that was meant to be in the video. Well, this is what I think about what Batman thinks about Lord of the Rings. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. I would have pointed out the similarities between the creation story and the creation story in the Silmarillion. I would have liked to point out how Tolkien kind of equated destroying the ring with the resurrection, etc., etc. He was an occult writer, and he was a Christian. And yeah, sometimes he might spend too much time describing shrubbery, and then when he gets to a really awesome part like the fall of Gondolin, it's like 3 sentences, but overall he's a great writer, and lots of people like him. I'm sorry you don't. But you're pretty wrong with your premise. As far as your opinion goes, well, that's your opinion. Anyway, well, that's all I got for today. Bye.